What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another special interview edition of Third and Longhorn. Today in the house, we got David Gbenda. David, welcome.
OG, the triple OG.
Well, I think we started off kind of the way we always started off. How did you get to Texas? I know you had a lot of Power 5 schools. You had some big offers. You had Michigan, you had Washington, you had quite a few.
Yeah.
Why Texas?
It was honestly a 3-choice decision: the environment, education, and just the sports. When I came down, obviously the environment of Austin, Texas. I'm from Katy, Texas, a small town out of Houston, so I really wasn't really.
David, I went to A-Leave L6.
Oh, you're from A-Leave.
Anyways, back to your.
Wait,
See, we knew this was going to be a problem putting you two together. If I have to separate y'all.
They're over here messing around. A-Leave and Katy, like, they're not nowhere close to each other. I'm just messing up to say that. But when I'd come down, I'd always visit, and I just felt something in my heart that it just felt right to be here. And the coach at the time, Coach Orlando, I knew he was going to be hard, but I chose a hard coach because I wanted to get the best out of myself and be really pushed, and education. A degree from UT speaks for itself. I mean, all of y'all know. So that just checked off my list, and then from then on, I ain't looked back. I 100% committed to the university, and I've been happy with my decision ever since.
Absolutely. You, you had to go through it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to scratch and claw. Like we get a chance to see the plays that you're making.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like those plays were available day one.
Nah, they weren't.
So I want to hear your perspective for coming to the university that obviously was a dream school, but you get here and they like, oh, but the hustle's sold separately. So, like, what was that experience like for you to even get to the point of production that you're at right now?
That's good.
Man, it was a long road, but honestly, looking back on it, I'm grateful for every step of the way because it helped me to pick up the little nuggets that I needed to become a full football player on and off the field that I am today. And I'm grateful for it because honestly, meeting the people that I've met and having the coaches that I've had, they've all taught me different things, and it's allowed me to clean up and polish my game and really understand what it means to be a professional and be a good college football player for the University of Texas, I
got a question for you, David. I've this past year, I've during the off season been able to see y'all go through the hard workouts in the stadiums that we used to go through, all these stations and stuff. And, you got the linebacker group. So the first time I'm out there, I'm looking at the linebacker group, and David doesn't, pop out or pass the eyeball test when you say, man, he's crazy tall. He's one of those guys, just average height. I'm telling y'all, and I've said this on this show before, hardest working.
Yeah.
Football player on the University of Texas team right here at the top of the list. No, that's a big deal.
What stands out there? Like, what makes you say that so confidently?
So, the leadership, being able to lead and work at the same time. Y'all know how hard it is to be able to work freaking hard. It's a lot of people that work hard, and you don't see them leading too. He's the guy that's saying the chants. He's the guy that's in front of the line. He's the guy that's just being able to compete with everybody, making sure he wins all of his races that when they do the cone drills and this running back and forth. David's at the top of the list, and when they have those little trackers on him, his stuff is off the charts every time because he's working his tail off. And people's like, man, who is this guy? Who is Gbenda? Making these plays, and I'm the first one to say that guy's been working. That's why he's getting the opportunities that you've gotten. I ain't even asked the question yet. I'm just kind of giving you a praise, man. I really appreciate that. Appreciate the hustle and the hard work mentality that you bring to the game and the leadership part. Where does that come from? Because that ain't something you just wake up with right there. That's something that's you got to tell me that, because that movement that you have out there on the field, I like it.
Man, thank you. Yeah. That really does mean a lot coming from you, DJ. And it's a twofold thing. One, like I said, the journey was long and hard, and coming into the university as a young kid, I had dreams and aspirations of obviously going to the league, and my original plan, I haven't really met up to it yet, but I still feel like with the abilities God's blessed me with and just the head I have on my shoulders, I'm able to do it. And two, for my parents. My parents say they immigrated from Africa. And like I said, they emphasize like one thing, and that's education and to make sure that I don't squander my opportunity here. Because one thing that my mom and dad both say, if I had the opportunities y'all have, the world would be my oyster. And just hearing them say that, then going through the workouts that I have and just seeing how, okay, my mom's waking up at 6. She's over here texting me good luck. She's exhausted. She's still texting me about my workouts. My dad's on me every day like, hey, how'd you do today? What little thing did you improve on in practice? Just seeing how much they do for me and how much they've given so much to pour into me and my sisters, just how much they've given just motivates me every day to see my mom just doing it, working 2 jobs, 6 to 6 at night, exhausted, still trying to make sure I'm okay and come to my game. Just seeing that, just whenever it gets dark, just motivates me to like know that I have it really easy. Honestly, there's other people out there working real jobs over here my dad's over here trying to work his job too, helping my sister at home and just make sure he's a good role model for me. They're wearing multiple different hats, and just the hat that they've given me to wear, just being a student athlete, I feel like it's just the easiest one I've gotten, and I've been blessed with the ability to do so. So why not give my all, just like my parents have said? So from that point on, I haven't looked back. I've just been told myself, whatever I do, I got to give 100 in order to make my family proud.
Well, humor me for a second, because I want to paint a picture, then I want to understand the mindset.
Yeah.
It's Texas. It's July. There's nobody on campus.
Yeah.
And you on number 22 of 31-10 sprints. I haven't seen your workouts, right? I've only seen the product you put on the field. If he gotten a chance to peek under the hood a little bit and he's saying that you are the guy that he's saying you are, which I believe, how do you even tap into that space, right? Because in the scenario I just gave, the real one, that real scenario, you don't want nobody talking to you. Yeah. You just trying to make sure you lined up on the line.
That is true.
Not jumping. You're not trying to jump. You're not trying to jump off sides. You don't want to cost the team right here on this rep.
I know
and you know you got to make this in 14 seconds.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're going to puke. You really praying that you do puke so you just be over and done with. I'm telling you. So that's how it goes. So when you in that spot, how do you tap into this kind of, I guess, clear thinking space of like, there's people that are dependent on me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
There's a mom and a dad that tapped in with me today at 6 a.m.
Right.
How do you do that to become that leader? What does that look like?
You've painted the most craziest, accurate, 100% picture of what I'm about to go through in the next couple of months.
Absolutely.
Just the grind. But that's just one of the things that come with it, because one thing our head strength coach likes to do, he likes to put us in those situations to really test you. He really puts us in the hottest environments, just the craziest environments. It does just to really make sure we're mentally ready to go into like places that are hostile or just the weather's not right, just to make sure we're ready to play. But honestly, for me, I'm used to it. So for the one thing I like to really work on is just my mental composure. That's one thing I'm really going to try to focus on this offseason. But it's one thing I've noticed, it's really hard to try to really re-engage your brain. But that's one thing that I've tried to be. I don't know if you've heard in previous interviews, but the word intent, that's one thing I'm intent about, is really locking in on the little details. Because yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I'm able to do a lot of these things, but the real plays are made when you understand the little nuances and the little nuggets. That's where you get farther. And it's not just with football. I try to do that with like my training, whether it's like my Pilates or just my after workout stretching with my assistant coach. I just try to be intent with it and just try to make sure everything has a reason for what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
That's I want to kind of add on to that. Like, I saw this interview, man, that I think really talks about who you are and can tell people how hard you work. And Mark Higgins found this online. And DJ, I want to hear your thoughts on this too. I love this quote so much, so I wanted to read it. I'm more intentional with my recovery, film studying and understanding the little details in my work. For instance, I'll go to Maurice Blackwell's footwork, Anthony Hill's pass rush, Jalen Ford's zone drop. I'll take bits and pieces from each of their game and try to implement that into mine and improve. Where does that depth come from on that? Then I think, DJ, you can probably attest to some of that.
Yeah, that's that's ideally what you want to do to help yourself, to better yourself, to be able to take, still be yourself, obviously, but whatever somebody else is doing well at, say, hey, man, can I do that? Am my ability well enough to do that? Or being smart enough to know if I can see those little details and implement it in my game, it just makes me a smarter player. Like players that make plays, they're not just a little bit better than everybody else. That happens sometimes, but when you get to a certain level in football, it's the mental part of the game. That's the mental aspect. When you move an inch over here, it's a game of inches. So things happen on the field, but it's because when good things happen to you, it's because mentally things are happening in your head, and you have your pre-snap reads, you have things happening where it's not just a crash course out there. You have some mental gymnastics going on before the play comes about, and then when the play goes, that's why you're able to move fast and clean up your movement so you can be more efficient on the field. And that's what, a lot of people can't do that. They can't look at other people's stuff because they're getting lost into what that guy's doing, that person's doing. But David's old enough now that he can do that, and it works for him. So,
yeah. Well, let me ask you this. You talk about you like taking bits and pieces of everybody's game during film study. You mentioned Jalen Ford's name. With a guy like that leaving and going to the next level, what are you going to miss about his presence in that linebacker room?
Man, I'm going to miss firsthand, man. Jalen was a real good dude and a competitor and a hard worker and a really good friend. He was a guy who wouldn't really speak much, but when he spoke, what he had to say was a lot. Like, it wasn't a lot of words, but you get what I'm trying to say. But what I'm really gonna miss about him is just my friend and being like able to compete with him. But I'm really happy and proud of him because seeing him come in from just his recruiting, like just hosting him on his official, to seeing him become the man he is and learning what real work is, then going out there and really displaying the fruits of his labor and just really cashing in, and now he's gonna go chase his dreams. Man, I'm so happy for him and wish him all the best, man. I'm rooting for him. Big Jalen Ford fan. Big Jalen Ford fan.
Well, let me ask you this then. With him leaving and so many other guys leaving, so much talent leaving from that defense, DJ and I and you were talking about this before the show. During spring, you're going to be looking around and there's going to be different guys to the right and to the left of you. How do you start building those relationships with these new players now during spring?
Oh, really just start with day one, just being authentic and real and just getting an understanding of how others work. With me, I don't really say hello. I just see how they move and operate in the weight room to see the type of person they are, because how you do anything is how you do everything. And with the younger guys coming in, I'm going to tell y'all now, like Sark he wasn't messing around with the guys he has coming in. They all have their heads on straight and they're working, and he's building a very competitive roster. And that's one thing I like about Coach Sark. He's always trying to help. He's always trying to build like a team that's like, regardless of whatever like position, we're always ready for whatever situation that we need to be ready for. And I like that. But the younger guys, I just usually day one sit back, sort of understand who they are and what their personality's like in the locker room too. Then I sort of introduce myself, like sort of jokingly, sort of break the ice, because me coming in, I was a young kid. I'm not really outspoken. I'm kind of to myself, like just seeing like, oh God, that's Malcolm Roach, that's Taquan Graham. I was just kind of like, I had to be sort of broke out my shell. So I understand that with them. I'm a new face to them. They're new to me. So I just try to be open and just get honest with them and get a feel for what they're about, you know?
Yeah. I since I've been up at the University of Texas and being able to help the linebackers at times, being able to see you have success on the field, I credit it to the versatility that you have playing the Mike, Will, Sam. You can play them all. And there are times in the game where Jalen Ford's on the sideline and you're in for Jalen, right? That's a big, big deal. It don't matter what the score is. Gbenda's out there commanding everything and being out there with the young guy and Hill. What does it mean to you to be able to have that versatility and not just be, hey, I only play Mike, or I only play Will, I only play Sam, or you can only put me in these situations? What's the mindset like to be able to do that?
Really just...
Is it a lot? Is it pros and cons to it, or what you?
Nah, it's just really all football. Like Like I said earlier, there's a big difference between understanding the big chunks and then the little nuggets. I felt like as I was progressing and getting better, I was just understanding the little nuggets. And it goes back to, like I said, I pay attention to whatever coach is coaching Mo on like his little footwork. I'm over here just, okay, for this call. Whenever he's coaching Jay Ford, I'm over here, okay, for this call. Whenever he's coaching Ant, I'm like, is he correct on that? Am I right on that too? Let me go back and look. Oh, okay, I was a little bit off. I'm just always trying to keep getting better and finding new ways to get better. And I feel like it's not a lot. It's just not limiting yourself, because the new game is, you're gonna have to be able to do a lot of things nowadays. You're gonna have to be able to cover. You're gonna have to be able to run. You're gonna have to be able to stop the run.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to be able to rush a passer too. So I want to be able to make my family proud. So in doing so, I'm gonna have to be versatile in everything I do: special teams, pass rush, pass coverage, and just run stopping. So I still don't feel like I have a complete bag yet. I still got to find new ways to get better.
Yeah. No, I love hearing that, because especially with guys that are playing multiple positions, you say it's nothing to you, and I see why it's nothing, because
that's hard.
Hear how he talks.
Yeah.
Like, we know the mentals of this guy, but to a lot of other players, when you start playing multiple positions, that's a whole new set of responsibilities to learn. Like, I guess all I'm trying to say is the fact that the coaches are putting that on your plate means that they know that you can handle it. I don't really have a question, but if you could just comment on this, how do you take that? Like, with the coaches do you, I guess I'm trying to ask you, like, with your maturity level, are you inviting more on your plate? Like, are you accepting those roles that they're giving you?
Yes, I'm very.
And do you like that?
Yeah, I like it a lot. Like, just for them to be able to rely on me just knows that they have the confidence in me and my abilities. And that's a really big, good thing for me. As long as you're confident in me and just let me be me, and allow me to do what I do, and allow me to just play, and let me lock in, then I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability. That's all. No holding me back. No nothing like that. And I just also like it for the example it sets for the younger guys to really let them understand what real work is. That you don't have to limit yourself based on, oh, I came here to play this set position. If you want to understand and play football for a long time, you have to understand the whole game around it. And understanding the whole game around it helped me to make plays. That's why I feel like it's a good thing to be versatile in this game, day and age,
Speaking of making plays, one of my favorite plays from any player in college football this year was made by you.
I know where you're going with that one.
You know what it was.
Roll the clip.
Roll that clip. He's playing Bama at Bama.
Yeah.
And the running back won the rep.
Yeah.
His job on that play was to get you down on the ground.
Yep.
You were down on the ground and did not stay on the ground long.
No.
And then got up in the effort to make the play. I think, like, listening to you now, I'm like, oh, that's just who he is. Like, that just wasn't a great play. It's like, that's the player. So, one, like, thinking about, like, the mentality that goes into that, to accept what's being thrown at you. You got defeated in the beginning of that play, and then to continue to make that play. How do we make that a team mentality? Or is that already the team mentality? And if it is, how to get there?
I feel like with the newer faces, they've seen what we've done so far, but they're just they're understanding what real work is. But the way we go about our work in the off season, the way we do our things in the building, as far as accountability and just the work we do on the field, I feel like it's going to help them to understand, like, this is how we play defense and this is how we're coming with it. I feel like the first practice is going to be a little. Their eyes are going to be a little wide and stuff. But
bro, you look a little bit excited about it. Why do you look like you about to have a good time with this moment?
Because my first SARC practice, I'm not going to lie. All gas, no brakes is no. It's not a
real?
joke. It's very real. It's very real. Oh my!
Is that like, what is that? Is that just like the tempo? Is that the intensity? Is that like, what is all gas, no brakes?
I mean, DJ's been at one of our practices from punt to just different position groups. He's over here running from halfway this other side of the field to the other side of the practice field. You've seen Dinius.
Yeah.
So he's running from like the main field to the little back.
Man, cut it out. Sark got endurance like that.
Yeah, he's got us running around.
Sark
and it's like,
got endurance like
everywhere
that.
we're going, it's like you're on the move. You're not just jogging around. It's not lackadaisical, but I like those type of practices, and it's just real good for them to get into that sort of fire. That's sort of the mental toughness sort of comes about it.
And that creates like that dog mentality.
Yeah, because then it's like, Are you gonna let the practice beat you, or are you gonna let the offense beat you, or are you're gonna rise up to the challenge and show everyone that you're a real dog? That's where the real challenge comes into it.
I was hoping you were saying that because that leads me to where I was going next. All right, I'm gonna read something, and I need more context. Okay. Before games, I go hungry so I can play like a dog. A hungry junkyard dog. I literally go hungry so I can play hungry. Dang. I'm physically and mentally hungry. Hey, man. Why are you not eating the pregame meal? I need to know why you out there playing a 4-hour
That's funny.
Is that because you run Collective, which actually provides services? I got you this time.
I know a place. No, I need to. All right, so
another invoice.
I'm assuming that was just like to express like what you really mean by the mentality. I don't assume that you legit are not eating, but if you are, then correct me. And I want to know, why are you not eating before the game?
Yeah, I want to know.
I believe it's both.
Okay,
I'm not gonna
like, boom. I remember one time, it was like last season or whatever. I remember Demo was just eating like some trail mix and stuff, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Bro, I don't eat before games." I was like, "Oh, okay." That's just one thing I noticed. But I've noticed with me, I don't really like. I like running a lot, and it don't matter for me. Like I'll run around everywhere. That's one thing about me. I'll run everywhere, but I don't like eating heavy before practice or every workout. I've been like this since I was like 4 or 5. I remember one time like I was playing pickup basketball, and I ate like a big old thing of like hot, like flaming hot Cheetos. From that point on, it was just in my head like, nah. I threw up everywhere.
Yeah.
But I kept trying to play, but they're like, get away from me.
So one traumatic experience is all.
I don't think eating a bag of hot Cheetos is the baseline.
It just kept me from it. But like I just noticed, like even in high school, I'd just be like, my coach would be like, "Are you good?" And I'd just be chilling, like I'm not eating that. I'd just be able to run. I'd feel light and good instead of me, because when I eat, I'm gonna eat. Like I'm gonna eat till I'm full.
You 0 to 100.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat till I'm full. Yeah. And I can't do that playing a game when I'm having to chase a quarterback and I have like a whole sandwich trying to find its way back out. You know? I can't do it. It makes me uncomfortable.
Okay, I got you.
So it's more of a comfort thing. Yeah, my nutritionist Brad, he had a conversation about me with that. We need to work on snacking before workouts.
Yeah, I'm sure you heard that on TV.
I'm sure he wants you to something.
He got on me about that.
Brad got a couple calls after that.
Yeah, what are y'all teaching over
there? I wasn't quite aware that you had came back. I didn't know, and when I found out, when you told me, it made my day, man. It really made my day, just because when you have other dogs and you have people around like this, there's no way you can't, as a player at University of Texas, no way you can't get better when you work out next to David.
Right.
No way, because he gonna kill you, and then you're gonna look bad.
Right.
So he raises the temperature, raises the level of everybody. I'm really serious about it. He raises the temperature of everybody in the room. So having him back is gonna help that linebacker room. Is really young now.
Yeah.
So this is a win for us, man. Win.
David, I wanted to ask you about, I think the biggest moment that I remember, and it told me who you were and how you handle accountability, was after the OU game, after that play towards the end. And I remember the quote was, you said there was a lack of communication there between you and Jaron, but you said that's on me. And that instantly told me what kind of leader you were, what kind of person you were, because people miss plays all the time, right? Like, yeah, that was a bigger moment that people tended to notice, but just the way you handled that and the leadership that you showed, I think set an amazing example for the team, and also really set the stage for what was going to happen next. And talk a little bit about dealing with something like that and how you handle that with your teammates.
One thing about plays like those, you can't let them beat you up too much, and you can't dwell on them. You just got to look at the film, accept it for what it is, and that's one thing we did. We looked at the film, accepted for what it was, and we also corrected that. We tweaked the call a little bit. We called it as less in that same situation, and that's where I knew we were going to go far. Whenever the way the team bounced back and sort of adjusted to the loss with Oklahoma, and just the way we were, and like obviously we were upset and stuff, and guys were feeling some type of way. But at the same time, in the past, I would see guys freak out, older guys, even like leaders, freak out or just throw tantrums, and that would set a bad example. And there'd be very terrible moves going into the locker room of guys just in their feelings and stuff. But I didn't see any of that. I saw a group of guys band together and just sort of not want this again. We were all like-minded in that sense, so we weren't going to let that happen again. And that's what helped us get far and bounce back from that situation.
I love that, man. I think that helped set that stage. And I think it set that mentality for everyone of like, okay, this happened, but we're together on this. Let's go.
And I also just want to add to that as well. I went back and kind of looked at that film study, and the mistake that you and Jaron Thompson made wasn't the only mistake on the field. But the fact that you took 100% ownership on that, knowing that there were other people on the field that played a part in that play, like Nick was saying, it really showed your maturity. And I left that press conference like just thinking, wow, like this team's about to take off. Like I think that was definitely a turning point. Kind of transition, I want to highlight on what DJ said, just kind of diving into a little bit more. You coming back, what was your thought process with you returning to school? Like what did you want to get out this next year?
I just wanted to get out.
Dang, hold on. I should have asked that right after.
Good question, yeah.
You know, I got like full podcast. He
behind the mask. Yeah.
Behind the face mask, everybody.
I'm getting my reps in, man.
That was a good question, but honestly, it was just, I was sitting down for a little bit after the Washington game, really numb, not really just coming to grips with the whole fact that I'm not going to see a bunch of these guys no more, and that's really over. And when I was deciding what I really wanted to do and where I was at, I had a really good season, but I still felt like there was more left to be done as far as preparation for just the draft and just more maturing that I could like do. And I just felt like the team coming back, with Quinn coming back and different pieces that we've gotten from the portal, that I would possibly be seeing, not possibly, but I would be seeing the college football playoff again, even with this 12 playoff like roster that we got going. That's gonna be fun too. We'll talk about that
more games.
But I just felt like what Sark had going, like how you said this team's gonna take off. I feel like it's just another skip, and he's about to hit another takeoff again. And with what I know and the versatility I could bring to the team, I felt like with how young it was going to be, there's going to be a need for maturity and leadership to let people know what it was. So I feel like it was honestly a no-brainer. Coming back would be the best choice, honestly, for the team and for me.
Got you. I'm thinking back, like hearing that, and then hearing the mentality of the team after the OU loss. And then you've been here and you have the chance to compare and contrast the differences after a big loss.
Yeah.
What flipped for this team? Like, because some of these are the same humans. They were here before and they're here now. So it's not like just a whole new roster of people. So it's like, what flipped for the team for you guys to be able to handle that type of adversity, losing to your rival, going in a favorite? Don't even worry about what that is. But like, I was about to say, don't even know nothing about that. But I'm saying, you guys going in. Some people thought you were good. Like Texas was picked to win, and they didn't win on a neutral field against their rival. That's a blow to the gut.
Yeah.
And then you stringed off a number of wins all the way up to the college football playoff, right?
Yeah.
So like, how does that happen?
Well, it starts by just really relationships and understanding who your teammate is next to you, and then understanding your coach. We're a team. The season before this, we were really close. We had close wins. Coach Sark really harped on us to really understand each other and get closer together outside of the building and and just to have a more grown mentality about it, a more mature mindset about certain things, about how you go about your business. And I feel like that combination of just maturity and the love for each other just drove us to be like-minded individuals who worked hard regardless of the time and place. Because there was a lot of, for me, like DJ said, I told Jalen we'd go back and forth, like, I'm gonna outwork you. He told you, I'm not gonna outwork you in the winter. Yeah. Yep. Obviously, he going to the league now. He's done what he's done. I still didn't let his accolades define me. But going back from the winter and the summer, I remember seeing the quarterbacks. Quinn got all the quarterbacks onto the walk-ons. They're over here doing core. all the running backs, JB, Trey, Savion Red, Keelan Robinson, Jaden Blue, just all of them working. Even the linebackers, Anthony Hill, Leongo Lafau, just coming immediately like, what's up? What do I got to do?
Yeah.
Boom, recovery, boom, like this. It's just everyone just has their like-minded goal. We have all the arrows pointing at the same direction, and we love each other.
Yeah.
We love each other. Just hearing the struggles we've been through to get to this university, understanding the different motivations that each of us had, it just drove us to want to win even more.
And we've heard that more than once. We heard Jalen mention it. He said, man, this team really rocks with each other.
Yeah.
CJ talked about it, Baxter. He was like, I came from Florida, and when I got here, it felt like, man, these guys, like immediately, it felt like home.
He
said he wanted to stay here.
He said he wanted to stay
go back home.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm hearing you say it right now. Like, I'm trying to understand when that moment happens. Like, it's not just like a magic wave of the wand. Every coach wants every team to be like off the field together, but I've been on teams where that's not the case.
Yeah.
That's just not the case. And then I've been on teams where that is the case. It's like, so what had you guys, like, what was the sticky? Like hanging out off the field, hanging out outside of the building, like outside of Moncrief Newhouse, really kicking it at each other's houses or being invited to different things.
Yeah, on certain days.
That's a real relationship and a real friendship. So it's like, like, how did that form?
How did that form? It was a gradual process over time, I'm being honest, because at first we didn't really all get to know each other, but we all played football together in the previous season before the one we had now. We went toe-to-toe. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. It was like, for me, it started off with the defense. I would notice like Demo and Keandre would always be tight. It would be the whole entire defense. That's what started, to be honest, that's what started like the defense being more gelled together, and that's where the dominant play started, in my opinion. Okay. Yes, we've been, like you said, we've had Sweat, we've had Murphy, we've had Demo.
These guys been here.
They've been here, but they actually gelled together. And with Coach Sark coming in, new coaching, he brought in new ideas and a new offense and like just a bunch of new things, but he brought us close enough to really feel what that win was. And that season, when we were close, like we would look back at the games, like we were literally this close, this close. Like, okay, let's repeat the same process. Let's double down. Let's go make some money for real. Cause we have NIL and stuff, but you feel me? The real goal is the NFL. So that's where the defense started. And then that just natural gel just had a ripple effect. Next thing you know, you see other groups, like the wide receivers, they're coming together. The offense is gelling together. They're working. We get in more guys like AD, Keelan, Zay, and all them. It just all gelled together because they all had like-minded, like they were all mature about it and they wanted to win. That's the one thing that had us really going together and really having us outside. Because one thing I noticed, I could have told you we were going to be Bama. I could have told you that because we were talking about it from this point that we started winning. We had them circled on our list. I'm not going to say like that was the only game because obviously the goal is a Big 12.
What you got? Congratulations.
But we had them circled on our list, and it would literally be like I'm at Jalen's house and we just got done with workouts with Mo and the rest of the linebackers. Like, we're going to be Bama. Or we were just walking around like, we're going to be Bama. Like just Quinn just talking about like, we're going to be Bama. Just dab me up, walk off. Like at that point, I knew like one, we're together, and two, like I'm playing on a team of like-minded individuals. Like I have to go hard regardless of what I do because I don't want to mess up for the next guy, and I want to make sure that we go far.
That type of stuff right there truly raises the standard. DJ often is, as he should, I mean, Hall of Famer, right? He's often, as long as I've known him, he's always talking about the standard. The standard. And that gets thrown around the same way that GOAT gets thrown around. Like those things get thrown around so much. It's like, all right, what actually is the standard? Like, to me, that's the standard.
Yeah, that's the standard.
It's like, it's on your mind all the time.
Yeah.
What'd you just say is like, I got to go hard because I don't want to let them down. Like, that's the standard. So I am happy to hear that obviously the results on the field is what everybody sees. And we say, oh man, Texas is back. But like, what goes into that?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I am happy to see that. And I got guys like you that are foregoing the real bag to come back and say, hey, this can benefit me, but I know I'm gonna leave this place better than how I found it too. So
and what I love about that too is everything you said kind of tells me that now we're at the point that this team is a player-led team. Like what y'all are saying, going around talking to each other, we're going to beat Bama, we're going to beat Bama. I'm going harder because the dude next to me is going harder. You didn't mention Sark one time in all this. Like, this is all between the team. Like, so that tells me that it's a player-led team, and you just explained it. That's why y'all have taken that next step.
Yeah.
Two more things. One thing, next time you do have an inkling that you know you're going to beat a team, shoot me a text real quick.
Remember what I was telling you about the favorites? I'm telling you, stay away from the favorites.
I don't know.
It's guys like that right there, okay?
I don't know nothing.
By the way, I made some money on Bama, so I already got that one. But moving forward, please let your boy know.
Congratulations. Congrats.
But, as we look forward into the 2024 season, who on that defense are you excited to watch this year?
Man, there's a lot of new guys and new faces we have coming in on our defense. We have Colin, obviously, coming in. Colin's going to be a good guy to watch, and he's going to be his second year. I'm pretty excited to see him put together another year of work, and get another year of understanding the defenses so he can understand the little nuances. Because that kid, he's pretty smart. So he's like already trying to, there's at the point I'm over here, you got this. He's over here like DJ knows, because he knows, and like you see him, he'll literally be like, I'm good. But it's funny and reassuring to see him just like knock me off. Like, hey, I got it. Like, you don't need to hover up, because he works hard. And I'm excited to see Leonga. I'm excited to see how he develops and how he comes back. Because Leonga, DJ called me a hard worker, but Leonga, he's a disciplined kid, and man, y'all are just gonna have to see. Young Lion he gets after it. But I'm excited to see a lot of other guys I didn't name though. I'm excited to see what AC does.
I was gonna say let's talk about that. He's a guy that I'm excited about.
Yeah,
I think Longhorn Nation has kind of been ready for AC to become that man.
Yeah.
And we saw flashes of it last year, all throughout the season, but just the consistency part. We know his ceiling. And he needs to play at that ceiling the whole season.
I don't even know if we know his ceiling.
That's a good point.
We just know he's crazy athletic.
We think we know his ceiling.
Potential. Athleticism off the charts.
He does.
But what's it going to take for him to put it together? Was that what you're going to?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Yeah, what can you tell us about AC, and what is it going to take for him to,
AC, I feel like with AC, he's been getting better. He's been maturing off the field and understanding what he wants to do for himself and where he wants to go. I feel like for him, it's just going to be more of understanding his role now, really putting that sort of that cape on. Like, I have to be that guy, and it's a sort of a mental shift. He understands, like he gets it. I'm not going to say he doesn't understand it, but I just say more of like how his work, how he goes about it. Just understand that he's that guy that we're going to be leaning on. If he puts himself in that mindset, like, because I've seen AC when his back against the wall, he knows how to fight. But I just need him to keep it on,
Yeah, I love hearing that. They always give me a hard time. I'm from Central Texas, so I got to look out for my boys.
Anybody that's from a 512 zip code.
Careful what you say now. We're going to have some guests from there.
Yeah, I'm sure we are. And I know they came from Oak.
Well, David, this was awesome, man. I don't really want to end it because I think this has been a fun interview, but we got to let you get out of here. But thanks so much for taking the time, man. And we'd love for you to come back soon.
Hey, congrats on that Big 12. Now you know the next one you got to go get. I put some hardware in there, bro.
I got you. I need some big rings. Thank y'all for having me, man.
Thanks,
I really
man.
appreciate
Hook 'em,
it.
man.
Hook 'em.